Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting episode on Zard's Thoughts. Now, oh shoot, we're literally on the precipice of the brand new generation for Nintendo with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. By the time that I release this video on my channel, we're literally going to be 2 days away from the official launch. Even less than that if you happen to be one of those people that's going to pick up this system as soon as possible. I'm talking about midnight launches and stuff over here in America and just North America region just in general though. However, you're somewhere else in the world, a European, Australian, Japan market or something like that, or anywhere else in the world, yeah, you might be getting this even a little bit sooner than some of us over here in North America though. And I just want to kind of just take this time out just to kind of give my last overall feeling vibe check as we're about nearly less than 48 hours away from this console coming out here on the market though. So I just want to kind of just do a little bit of a vibe check on stuff, just kind of let you know where my head's in the game in terms of like how I'm going to pick up this system, what I'm planning on picking up and everything like that. The recent stuff that we managed to get with some of the news and stuff about like somehow some of these consoles have managed to leak a little bit early. So yeah, this is this kind of like a news roundup, vibe check, just overall hype. Whatever you want to call it, it's just all jammed into one video though. So let's go ahead and get it going though. So it's crazy to think that we're gonna have the Switch 2 in our hands in less than 48 hours from now though. In terms of where I got my Switch 2 pre-ordered at, I managed to get it through Best Buy on that night when they managed to release all of those pre-orders and stuff, where it was like Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. And then GameStop didn't do their stuff until like that next following day in the morning or whatever though. And I was lucky enough to get one at Best Buy, thankfully though. And then I have one of my other buddies that I know from college. He wanted to get one. He missed that, or he tried to get that sucker. I know that sucker sold out like hotcakes and stuff like that whenever originally went up for pre-order though. And I managed to luck out. I managed to get one from Walmart for him. So I'm planning on going to the midnight launch for Best Buy, and then have to keep an eye out at the front door and stuff when his is supposed to be delivered that morning though, because Walmart did promise that 9 a.m. delivery time or whatever though. So yeah, so that's the plan for me though. So on that Wednesday night, at least at Best Buy locations, thankfully they're saying, hey, they're going to release the console at midnight Eastern time or 9 p.m. Pacific time. I live in Central Standard Time, so for me that's going to be 11 o'clock at night though. So I was like, okay, now I don't have to wait as long as midnight. For people on the East Coast, like my good buddy Steven on the pod, yeah, he has to wait until like literally after midnight his time though. But then some of these other buddies I know on Discord and stuff, they get lucky. They're on the Pacific time, so that they can get theirs as early as 9 o'clock. They're gonna have more time to play around, mess with the system and stuff like that before I do though. But at least for me personally, the goal is to get there to that Best Buy. You know, it's been a while since I've done a midnight launch, to be honest though. I think the last one I might have done was it Sun and Moon at like my local Walmart back in like during my early college days or something like that. It's something kind of crazy or something like that though. I mean, even when I picked up my original Nintendo Switch, that was at a Target location early in the morning during my college days though. So I know different vibe checks at least right there though. But the plan is to pick up that console and then get home and then just tell the thing to go through its boot up, set up stuff. That way I can start downloading all the updates, any kind of other stuff, the GameCube NSO and all of that kind of fun jazz though. But at least in terms of things I'm trying to pick up from my Best Buy, I did manage to get my pre-order set for just a standard edition of the Nintendo Switch, not the one that has Mario Kart World bundle. I just got the basic one. Then I'm getting Mario Kart World physically. And then after I get those two, those are like the bread and butters, like probably the most important things I'm picking up. But I am getting a few different accessories as well. I'm getting the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro Controller, just only one of those. I'm also getting a webcam. So I'm like, like the official webcam thing from Nintendo, because I really want to mess around that game chat feature. So I definitely got to pick up that. Then I got to turn around and get, oh gosh, there was like one other, a Nintendo Switch 2 carrying case. I got two different ones. I got the all-in-one, which is a little more expensive one, and I got the standard one. The standard one is just for me around the house and stuff like that. The all-in-one, every now and then, I might go to my cousins or something like that, and I want to bring my Switch 2 and stuff just to be able to throw a Pro Controller or some Joy-Cons up in there or whatever though. So that's just a nice convenient way of being able to move everything all at once. So I did manage to get that as well. And I think for the most part, that should just about do it. I did manage to pre-order the GameCube NSO thing. And as I'm checking right now, Nintendo, they're kind of in the status update of preparing to ship the GameCube NSO controllers, so I'm not fully expecting to get those until probably sometime next week, maybe Monday at the earliest. It's gonna be a bit unfortunate though, but at least those Switch 2 GameCube adapters and stuff, that's still gonna be working for the time being, so I'll just use that to mess around with the GameCube stuff until my official GameCube controller from the NSO stuff from Nintendo actually manages to release those. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that as well. And then I think that's basically it in terms of stuff I'm going to pick up straight from Best Buy or whatever though. I don't know, maybe at the spur of the moment, I might happen to pick up some other stuff and they just got everything laid out there, as they probably will. I don't know how many people are going to probably show up at my local Best Buy if I had to take a guess. I live in a somewhat populated area, but it's not like a metropolitan area like a Chicago or New York or nothing crazy like that though. But I'm imagining there might be at least somewhere between like 20 to 30 people. I'm imagining it's going to be in line though. I might do some vlogs. I might throw that up on the channel as well. Just kind of, showing, me leaving, arriving there at the location, just taking either pictures or videos or something. I kind of want to document it in some kind of way, so that might be up on the channel at some given point. I just don't know when. But yeah, if they laid all that stuff out, I might get tempted to not pre-order at that point, you're just buying it. I might be tempted to actually pick up some other stuff though. Who's to say though? But I had a good chunk of change and stuff set aside for all of the stuff I'm picking up on launch day though. But yeah, I'm gonna get all of that stuff, then I'm gonna head home, and then I'm just going to tell the thing to go ahead and start downloading and stuff like that. Now, in terms of just games and stuff, what I'm going to have, at least at the time of launch, I'm going to kind of keep it simple. Obviously, Mario Kart World, that's the physical game I'm going to get. I'm debating on getting Fast Fusion. I heard good things about the previous one on the Nintendo Switch 1. And I was like, I may or may not. I don't know. It's only $15 on the eShop though, so that might be interesting. I'm definitely getting the upgrade pack for Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I've been playing that on my Nintendo Switch here lately. That's been my go-to game as of late. And I love everything about that game, and the fact that that's going to be running at a competent 60 FPS and just visually going to look better. Hey, I'll pay that, $2.50 something to pick up that game. So I'm definitely going to get that. I'm going to download the patches for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think the plan is I might mess more so with Tears of the Kingdom. My buddy Steven on the podcast, Zarkest Podcast, he might mess around with more Breath of the Wild. So that way we get the coverage on both in terms of the podcast that we should be airing out this upcoming Sunday. So I think that's the plan on that. I'll mess around with the GameCube NSO stuff. I might mess around with Wind Waker just a little bit more, but I'm more intrigued with F-Zero GX because, hey, F-Zero is my jam though. So being able to play that online, that's going to be pretty sick though. And I think outside of that, there's not too many other things I might get. I mean, maybe spur of the moment when I'm just kind of browsing through the eShop and stuff like that, I might be tempted to kind of pick up something else though. But yeah, I feel pretty content with all of that though. And I think that's about it in terms of games I'm planning on picking up right there though. So yes, I think that's overall the mindset of where I'm kind of at in terms of, the midnight launch plan and then how I'm getting it and stuff like that. I might do an unboxing on the channel though. And then obviously I feel like I might stream some Mario Kart World on the channel probably on Friday. Maybe not Thursday. I don't know. Maybe Thursday. Who's to say at this point? I'm just going to be a spur of the moment though. And I'm still going to be trying to make all of this extra content and stuff out here for the channel though. But who's to say? But either Thursday or Friday, I do want to actually get a stream of Mario Kart World and just play at least a little bit of that though. But yeah, so honestly, we had some good, cool, exciting stuff in the times ahead though. But let me know in the comment section down below what all are you planning on basically trying to pick up during this launch event, and where did you manage to get your pre-orders up from? Because speaking of pre-orders, man, lately within these past 24 almost 48 hours, there's been some weird stuff going down with some pre-orders, because apparently like Walmart, if you happen to place an order with them, you might want to double check up on that mess, because apparently they've been going through and accidentally quote unquote canceling a bunch of orders, there's been like some loop around of things where it's like, hey, if you happen to manage to get that cancellation thing, check your emails within that span of 24 hours. Something might have went down or acted up within their system though. So they're actually allowing you to go into your cart and it's already sitting kind of reserved for you. However, you just probably won't be able to get that system as early as like launch on like what would have been that Thursday. It probably might not be until that next Monday. It's kind of weird how all that stuff has kind of managed to break down with Walmart. I got concerned myself because that's where I got my buddy's Switch pre-ordered from with Walmart. But as of the point of this recording, everything is still good for him. And hopefully nothing changes on that because he's going to swing by and pick up that system probably a little later on this month though. But yeah, it's been some weird stuff. And then obviously there's been some stuff, you know, street breaking and stuff like that. Like there are people out there that already have this Switch 2, probably not in the best legal conditions or whatever though. However, some people might have gotten the system shipped to them early. Maybe they live, you know, next to one of those big distribution centers, like a big city, like a Chicago, Dallas or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, so some stuff is already out there. However, there was like some weird reportings and stuff about how like with the Nintendo Switch 2, you weren't able to actually play any games on it until you had that day one patch. But then other people kind of went back and started reporting saying, hey, it works with Switch 2 games. You just need a day one patch for Switch 1 games. So it's kind of a little weird or something like that though. But regardless to say, it's kind of nice not seeing any kind of leak footage, at least as of now, for Mario Kart World. Only thing I've been really seeing out there on the web is everything that Nintendo has been posting on Nintendo Today, which they've been on the ball on that. Like there's been some interesting bits of, you know, news and stuff that they managed to put out on that app, and then some stuff that just kind of felt like filler, you know, from time to time or whatever though. But I mean, overall, I mean, they've been putting out some good stuff up on that mess though. And I think outside of that, I mean, that's kind of where my head is at least with this launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. Because I'm overall, like, I don't know where I'm at in the scale of like a 1 to a 10 per se though, but I feel like I'm probably at a toasty somewhere between a 7 and an 8, and I feel like it's going up by like 0.2 almost each day, or every minute, every hour we're getting kind of closer to this system dropping though. I don't know, because it's just something special about having a new generation for any kind of console coming out, whether it be Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft. But I just have a lot more nostalgia and stuff for Nintendo though, just to be able to have a brand new system come out on the market, because it's not like every day that this mess happens. It happens like every 6+ years. I mean, from the Switch that we got in 2017 to where we at right now with the Nintendo Switch 2 here in 2025, that's already like an 8-year gap. This is like probably one of the longer gaps we had in series history in terms of where one console started to where the other one happened to go now though. But yeah, overall I'm very excited. Hopefully y'all are having a great fun time, either getting up with your buddies, your families, or something like that. If you happen to be going to that midnight launch, great, whether it be the Best Buy locations. I think Walmart, you can technically go to a midnight launch if your Walmart store still happens to be open, because I think for a lot of people their stores close around like 11 o'clock their time. So if you're in MST, Mountain Standard Time, or Pacific Time, and you just wanted to kind of walk into your store to actually pick up a Switch 2, it might be possible with those Walmart locations. A lot of the Best Buy locations throughout the whole entire country are doing the midnight launches and stuff. GameStop, you just have to, well, no, actually GameStop is actually doing one too, but yeah, there's a little weird where it's like if you don't already have the console pre-ordered, you better get there by some point, like what, 3 o'clock or something like that. So good luck for all of those out there, because it seems like a lot of these retailers, they happen to be picking up a lot more units for them to be able to sell to people that don't have pre-order. So if you didn't manage to get a pre-order, hey, it still might be possible to pick it up either at a midnight launch at one of these locations or early in the morning, the very next morning on Thursday morning though. So good luck to all of those that don't have pre-orders yet and are still trying to go out there and try to, you know, find one out there on the market though. But overall, I'm genuinely excited for this mess though. And it's not going to be too much longer that we have to wait until we have this console in our hands. A lot of us are going to be going through and trying to check out all these Switch 1 edition things that are going to get updates, such as like, you know, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, or Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening needs that one a bunch. Scarlet and Violet, that's going to be the one I definitely got to go through and check out myself personally though, because man, that game really needed it. And we already started to see some footage of it running on the Switch 2. man, it looks leagues better though. And then obviously people gonna be messing around with Breath of the Wild. I want to mess around with Tears of the Kingdom. There's still some more stuff I need to do up in that game, so it gives me a good excuse to kind of fire that mess up again though. But obviously the big elephant in the room, Mario Kart World, gonna put hours upon hours once I manage to get that in my hands though, because look, it's been a better part of over a decade since we managed to have a brand new Mario Kart World though. But yeah, just having all that new hardware up in our hands, and then obviously all of the different accessories with the Switch 2 Pro controller, I heard some good things about it. I really love the standard Switch Pro controller though. So man, I want to really get my hands up on that thing, because that's going to feel really nice up in the hands based upon word of mouth, the stuff with the Switch 2 preview events and everything else we heard though. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section down below where you at in terms of the hype level. Is it, through the roof, maybe above a 10, or you kind of sitting at a toasty like me, 7 to 8-ish, or you might be a little bit lower, or you're just going to be kind of rounding up all this news because either it's not affordable in your budget, or you're planning on picking it up later in the year, or maybe around the holiday season or something like that. But you're just going to be going around just seeing how people react and doing unboxings, everything else in between though, because this is a crazy wild week. Not only we're getting the Switch 2 dropping out on what would be Thursday, but then you have Summer Game Fest on Friday, the Xbox Showcase on Sunday and stuff, and then all these other different shows as well, all these different announcements for third-party companies, some first parties as well. So it's like, hey, we're in basically gamer Christmas right here, and I'm going to be eating up every single little bit of this stuff though. But yeah, that's going to basically do it in terms of today's video though. So if you really like this, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing though. So remember y'all, until our video I make next, and good luck hunting down all your Nintendo Switch 2 goodies, accessories, consoles, and everything else in between in the games. I'll see y'all later.